Hello everybody, welcome back. So this is the part 2 for the other video that I posted, why men are choosing to be single. Okay, yeah, so we already know the topic, but I'm still going to play it for those of you who may just be seeing this for the first time. Okay, so this woman had a question for men. Take a look.
Here's some crazy research for you. So a third of men, 33%, a little over a third of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. The same study said that by the year 2030, that 45% of women between the ages of 20 and 45 will be single. So I've got a question for the men, because I see it all the time in my comments. Most of my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking. We like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done. Tell me why you don't want to have a partner in life. Tell me why it's more worth it to be single than to have a partner. Even if you weren't to remarry, just to have a partner. I mean, I've talked to a lot of men. I've got my answers, but I want to hear it in the comments. So please, drop it in the comments.
And a lot of men responded to her questions, which I'm going to play. So let's get into the video.
Want to have a partner in life.
Now, I can't speak for all men, but I can certainly give my perspective on it. Because we're fed up of being blamed for everything. For a start, I know there's a lot of good women out there, but men are absolutely sick to death of the victim mentality. Nothing to do with trauma base. It's a misguided perception that you've got from obviously society's wag life or millionaire life, where you all be like, oh, I want to have that best life, I want to have this life, I want to have the high car and ID. Like, that's 5% of millionaires or wag life. Well, I like that. But yeah, for some unknown reason, in your head through listening to stupid Cardi B, you've got this misguided delusion of like, well, I deserve that because I'm a bad bitch. No, you're not. Like, men have got like a misguided delusion just because they go to the gym. It's like, oh, I am amazing. When if you ain't got good morals and good standards and good boundaries, you're not either. So again, the question is, why are men turning away? It's because we're sick of the bullshit. We're sick of being blamed for everything. We're sick of obviously the misconception of obviously women ain't got rights. Like, you've got more rights than men. Like, you take everything when it comes to divorce and it comes to jobs. I've seen jobs where it just says women apply only, and it's like, how are you not seeing it? A man will go to court and he could have done nothing, but a woman will just say, oh yeah, well he hit me, he did this. And even though I know there's cases where it does happen, but even if it's a lie, straight away the man gets put to jail or gets sent away, because obviously women have priority. Women's voices are valued as if like you all tell the truth, when we know from the Johnny Depp case that that's not inaccurate. There's toxic men and there's toxic women. There's narcissistic men and there's narcissistic women. There's a difference between narcissistic personality disorder and narcissistic personality traits. But nobody understands the difference. This is why men just don't want to, because men are petrified of obviously relationships, because obviously they can lose everything. But they're also petrified that because we're not sure how to actually express our emotions, it comes across as aggressive or assertive. So then straight away, toxic masculinity. When toxic masculinity isn't even a thing. There's just toxic people. Bring it back in. Men are just fed up of being treated like shit. And if anyone says, yeah, well, women get treated like shit, I'm sorry, but when it comes to the society stigmatization, like, you get treated better than all men. And if you say, oh, you weren't allowed to vote, like, we've only been allowed, that was 1918, 1st September, and men and women was only allowed to vote at the same time. The only difference was age. So stop living in the victim mentality, because that's what men are sick to death of. It's like, oh yeah, we know, we want to have that waggy lifestyle, we're living in delusional land. And you're listening to Cardi B and obviously Beyonce when she's singing, all the single ladies, all the single ladies. She got cheated on and she stayed with a bloke. Why? Because he's got money, because she wouldn't be able to do better than him. Like, if you love somebody and you want to be with somebody, be with them for love. But the reason why men don't fucking want to do it anymore, because we don't believe women know how to love. I said what I said.
Let me be honest, and I know honesty is not very nice to people sometimes. Here's a very, very pertinent and important question. If I'm not a guy, a traditional guy, so to speak, who aspires to have a family, have kids, have grandchildren, have a home and a wife, if I'm not that guy, then what benefit is there for me to bring a woman into my life? That's a question that women should be asking themselves. What benefit is there? I'm not asking you what do you bring to the table. I'm asking you, what benefit is there for a man if he was to bring a woman into his life, be it as a girlfriend, be it as a permanent partner in a form of marriage? What benefit is there? I can't answer that. Only women can answer that. But as guys, as gentlemen, when we sit down and evaluate this, when we weigh the pros and the cons, at the end of the day, you see that your life is more peaceful without a woman than with one. And you know for a fact, especially with the mindset of this generation of women, you just know for a fact that you are better off single, because you gain your peace, you're still financially stable, you are able to have your freedom of movement, freedom of breathing, freedom of doing anything you want. You can do anything. Sex is not a benefit that you should bring into this conversation, because it isn't. We know that sex has been commercialized and anybody can get sex anywhere they want as long as they've got the money. There's a market for it. And some guys have figured that formula and it works wonders for them. Go out there, buy sex, come back to your crib, watch TV, play PlayStation, or run your business, do whatever. Just live your life because the formula works. Right? So the most important question, a fundamental question that we should be asking ourselves as men is, what benefit is there for me to bring a woman into my life if I'm not the guy who's got prospects of having family, kids, and all of that and da. Right? If there's no benefit, then why bring a woman into your life? Because bringing a woman into your life today, in this day and age, with the generation of women that we live with, you are already partially signing a contract that says, at any given point in time, in her anger, she can vandalize all your assets, your car, your TV, tear down your clothes, break every cup, glass, anything in this house. She can break it in her anger and you lose all of that. Everything that you worked so hard for, you can lose it just because she's angry. Number two, she can break your car. The car that you've saved so much, so many years for, the car that you bought saying that this is my car, I love this car, I got it for myself. You dreamt about this car, but because she's angry, she can easily break that car into pieces because she knows that you love the car, just to spite you, right? That's what you're inviting when you bring a woman into your life. You're inviting that. And this is not even the worst. The worst is that by bringing a woman into your life, you are partially saying, subconscious, you're saying, I am prepared to take the risk and trust this woman with my life, because the moment you bring her into your life, you are already giving your life into her hands. She can decide your fate at any point in time. If she wakes up today and decides that you, sir, are going to jail because you raped her, my friend, you are definitely going to jail. No questions asked about it. She can accuse you of it because she wants to spite you. She wants to prove to you who is going to be the winner in this game. It's a game to them. They don't care. They don't care. So, is that the risk you want to take as a man? As a man, is that the risk you want to take? Sacrifice your life, be the sacrificial lamb? Put your life in someone else's hands? These women, they don't care. It's a transactional thing for them. A woman can come into your life and be as if she loves you and be there as if she really, really loves you, when she knows very well that the only reason she's with you is because there's a financial benefit to her than anything for you. She knows very well. She knows, and they know. So why would you want to bring that financial part into yourself? She knows that she can push, she can hypnotize you to a point where you want to marry her, and you marry her only for her to divorce you 2 years later because she isn't happy anymore. And she takes half of everything that you've worked so hard for. That's it. Why would any man want to do that to themselves? Why would any sane man want to do that to themselves? And I know you're going to say, not all women, some women are good. No, but why would any man want to do that to themselves? In a nutshell, if we are being frank and honest, there isn't a benefit for one to bring a woman into their lives. It's only a risk. And it's a risk that some men are prepared to take, but it's a risk most men are not prepared to take. And it's unfortunate, and it's really, really unfortunate, but this is the honest truth. There isn't a benefit at all, because men can really do most of the things that women can do. Doing laundry, decorating their houses, making sure that they've got food to eat and all of that. All those basic things that women always preach about, that it's a basic thing for a man to be able to do that. Men can do that. We can do that. It's very easy for us to do that. So if that's one thing that you would mention in this conversation and say, we clean for you, we do laundry for you and all of that, those are basic things that anybody can do. Any reasonable adult should be able to do anyway. Right? But other than that, if you think things through, it's more risky to have a woman in your life as a man than to actually have one in your life. So you'd rather not, and be safe and keep your sanity, keep your peace, keep your freedom. Just be yourself and be alone. That's the only best way to maneuver this life. It is unfortunate because I would have loved for relationships to work. I would have loved for relationships to be as traditional as they used to be in the past and all of that. But women are emancipated. They're empowered. But in their empowerment, they've lost themselves, and they've lost the very, very fundamental basic things to life and the essence of love, it means nothing to them. And because this is the attitude we get from most of them, men have decided, you know what, it's not worth it. I'd rather be alone than invite trouble into my life. Thank you.
Listen. Are you going to listen and understand and try to understand why men are done with relationships with North American women? I cannot speak from women from any other part of the world because I have no experience with them. I have had dates I live in Canada and I have dated women from many parts of the world. But I have found that the most difficult to date are the North American women, the Canadian women. Not all, but the ones that I have dated, they are. Because they have no respect. They always try to trump men. They tell men how they feel. They don't listen to men about how they feel. Women, most North American women have zero respect for men's opinions. And when they listen to their men, they turn around and say, no, this is what you actually mean. That's a big problem. That's a big problem in relationships. And one of the things I have seen here in Canada is that most men have been raised to please women. And they try their best to please women. But they get tired of trying because no matter what they do, their partner is never going to be pleased. There's always going to be a new thing that they are going to look at and say, no, you didn't do this for me. And sometimes are minor things. Like loading the dishwasher and they are not doing it the way they want. Putting things away because they don't do it the way they will do it. Some women have zero respect to the way we were raised by our parents. Zero understanding that we come from two different cultures. Zero understanding that we come from two different parents. Sometimes we come from completely different social status. And every single time that a man is trying to say, this is what I feel and this is what I would like to have from you, women turn around and says, no, this is not what you want. This is what you want. And this game that many women play of, you are here to please me, you are here to make me happy. Pardon me for the shaking, I don't have my stand with me right now, so. It gets to a point where men are like, fuck it, I'm done with this shit. So, men can throw at women hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars, and women are not going to be happy. And the part that women don't understand is happiness comes from within, from deep in here. That's why men are very simple. Men find happiness and contempt in the most simplest things. Yes, we created a world where there's so many things that we created for women. We invented for women. Women were the driver, the inspiration for many men to create, to amass wealth. And that's the part you don't understand. If you are a good woman, you will inspire us to be better. But if you're nagging 24/7 and you have not a word of encouragement, a word of support for us, it gets to the point that we are like, fuck it, why should I even try it? And you have seen, and you can see many men in marriages that they're just existing. They're not living. They're just there. And they will not leave the relationship because they made a commitment. That's why there's not that many divorces that are initiated by men. But nowadays, young women have a list, a roster of guys waiting for their opportunity. And girls, you play too many games. And a man that is actually wants to be in a serious relationship is not going to be playing those games. The players will be there for playing, but not for the long-term relationship with you. That's why you need to change your ways, not men.
It's not that we don't want partners in life. I think the biggest thing is that when I think of a definition of a partner, that's someone who can be a part of your support system when the chips are down and you may need support just mentally. Also someone who's going to be able to be a teacher and a student depending on what the debate of the situation may be. Also someone who's going to be loyal and someone who can communicate their feelings effectively so that you guys continue to grow together. That's not the case these days. For the most part, for a man, if 1 in 4 relationships are in failure, so you're already setting yourself up to fail. And so if you're a guy who already got your life together, you don't have any kids, you're making 6 figures a year, you look okay, why would you want to date anyone and bring them into your life? And let's just say you go the mile and you end up getting married to this particular person, and then you got to give them half of your stuff that you spent 15 years of your life. This person wasn't even around, but they're going to get half of your stuff. And for us as men, we don't care about how much money you make. That's not a barometer for us. You can work wherever you want to work at. You can make pizza puffs all day. As long as you have all those other attributes that will allow for you to be a really great partner and that we can succeed together, then that is what we are currently looking for. But that is not available in this day and time. And so now it's a lot easier just to stay to yourself, focus on your money, travel the world, relax, and spend more time creating moments than trying to be in a relationship with someone who's going to always constantly look on the other side of the field to see if it's green. And then when they get over there to the other side of the field, they're looking for the next green thing. And then they're looking for the next green thing. And then all it boils down to is that you're in a constant state of never finding what you're looking for. And then as a man, it just turns out to be a struggle that no one really wants to deal with in 2023.
Single than to have a partner?
Because I'm saving money. A lot of people are choosing to be single rather than be in a relationship for a number of reasons, actually. One of the reasons is because they're probably heartbroken and they're choosing a path of healing. I'm sure a lot of us know that when it comes to being on a path of healing, that it could take some time to actually feel comfortable with wanting to put yourself out there in the dating world. Another reason is because maybe they weren't heartbroken. Maybe they just feel like the relationship or the marriage, there's really no sense of direction of where it's going. Both people may have different goals in life, and so they separate, and now they choose a path of fulfillment. But in both cases, again, this is just my perspective, I think what is a major issue is a lack of communication, and maybe even lack of effort. But something happens too when a person chooses a path of healing or chooses a path of fulfillment, or both. Something happens. They get comfortable with being alone. After they spend so much time healing from the past relationship or marriage, it doesn't even have to be toxic or unhealthy. They spend so much time being alone that they get comfortable with being alone. So why do they feel comfortable with being single and being alone? Why do they feel comfortable with it? A lot of reasons. They're saving money. They're doing the things they want to do. They're meeting new people. They're accomplishing goals, dreams, etc. They have spent so much time, whether it's a path of healing, path of fulfillment, or both, whatever. They spent so much time putting time and energy into themselves. They have finally developed self-worth, self-love, and they don't have to just give their time and energy to somebody else, just thinking that maybe, who knows what that relationship could turn into. It could turn into something toxic, or it could just simply end. They don't want to just settle for anybody. They don't want to settle. Lack of communication. People get comfortable with being alone. Whether it's because people are heartbroken or they choose a path of fulfillment, or both. People just start finally realizing that life is a lot simpler. It's less expensive, less dramatic, everything, with just being alone and single. Now, I am a divorced parent, single father of 2 kids. I have been single for a little over a year and a half now, with no commitment to anybody. At first, yeah, in the beginning it was lonely, but after time went by, just focusing on myself, being a parent, just doing the things I want to do, getting my life together, you get comfortable with being alone. And you don't want to spend a lot of your time and energy giving to somebody else. Because, yes, it feels nice to give when you're in a relationship, but you also start to realize that you feel a lot better with giving to yourself. Because all that time and energy and giving that you do in a relationship, you do that while you give that to yourself being single. And you notice, and people get comfortable. They think that, like, wow, I don't really need to be in a relationship anymore. I'm so comfortable with being single. I can give to myself. I can show up for myself. And I have that relationship with self to where I don't need to jeopardize or risk or put myself in any kind of predicament of getting myself into a relationship, of giving my time and energy, or even financially speaking. But yes, a huge reason why a lot of people choose to stay single too is lack of communication, because people aren't really communicating their own feelings and emotions to the significant other or a potential prospect for being a significant other. They're not communicating. But one thing I've came to realize too, with talking with thousands and thousands of people about relationship trouble or advice, etc., here on TikTok, one thing I've gathered about people in relationships or being single is that people are just so misunderstood. People are so misunderstood. Again, and that ties into when someone's feeling misunderstood, they just don't want to put in the time and effort and energy to be giving to somebody else when they know that they can just give to themselves. Honestly, the statistics of what the lady was talking about here, who knows what the future fucking holds, man. I mean, who knows what the actual stats show? I mean, it could have just been somebody who's just calculating their own research. I mean, where's that research coming from? I mean, I don't know. All I can say is me, as a single father, been single for a year and a half now, I can say that life is very peaceful. I hope this video helps. Maybe shine some light on some things. Hope you have a good one.
So my thought on all of this is we are all wounded, okay? We are all deeply wounded by whatever is happening right now on the dating scene in our society. What is happening right now has ruined a lot of us. It's changing our minds and our views, our expectations and all of that. And I get it. To be honest, I understand, because we are also feeling the same way, okay? We are also, if you're being honest, and we are going to be brutally honest, this is exactly how most of us also feel. If you took the time to watch all of this, let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow, or maybe Monday with another video. Take care of yourselves, have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye.